So apparently there was a New World developer update. Is New World dead to you guys? Like, honestly. Is there anything that... oh, see you later, Tagora. Is there anything that New World could do that would draw you back to New World? Like, seriously, is there anything... If New World came out with something right now, what would it be that would maybe you'd turn around and say, you know what, I think maybe I'd like to give that another try? Booba sliders? New World has lost 90% of its player base. I think it's more than that. I think it's more than 90% now. They had like a million people or millions of people playing at one time. They don't have that now. It's like terrible. What about this? If they had fixed all the bugs, I haven't seen this developer update, so I have no idea what's coming out. I've heard that there's some sort of an expansion or like a new zone or something like that. If you found out from players that you know are still playing New World, and I know many of us probably don't really know of anyone that is, but if there is, and they told you that all the bugs were fixed and there was a massive new raid that was coming out, would that give you any desire to go back and try New World again? And if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know what you would want to see before you ever decided to go back to New World. You should have waited for more. They should have, but I think they were pushed. They were kicked into releasing it when it was obviously not ready. The leveling system is not something I liked. I didn't mind the leveling, to be honest. There was just, I would try some new content, but it would look, yeah. Like for me, I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm more of a PvPer at heart. I'd like the idea of actual battlegrounds, maybe. So if they added that, but it couldn't be just that. It couldn't be just battlegrounds. If they added a rave, if they added a raid that looked absolutely spectacular, and people that I know, I do actually still know a couple of people that are still playing, and they told me that the bugs were all fixed. There was a massive content patch, including a new raid and battlegrounds. I think I might give it a try then. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I actually like the game. Like I didn't like the bugs and the lack of content, but the leveling experience, I was fine with it. I was actually enjoying myself. The bugs were annoying, and the lack of content at the end were really frustrating. So if they came out with battlegrounds, completely fix the bugs, battlegrounds, and a massive raid that looked absolutely spectacular, I'd be like, you know what? I think I might give this a try. And I think maybe other people would as well. I have a feeling that that's not what this dev update is going to be, though. I have a feeling that that's what it's not going to be that. So let's have a listen to see what they have to say anyways. I don't know why my YouTube does that.
Hi everyone, welcome to the August developer update. As you can see, Tina's not here today, so we're going to do things a little bit different. It's going to be a group of us talking through everything together. First, though, I want to introduce the other people at the table with me. So we have Dan Henhuber, who is our social experience lead. We have his partner in camouflage, Mike Willett, who is the world experience lead. And we have Katie, who's the live lead producer type person on the team. So anyway,
what kind of a title is that? Live lead producer type?
Nailed it.
Got it.
All your live
That was
issues.
perfect.
Yell at her.
Before we start, though, I want to touch base on a quick update. The Summer Medley Fair, we're going to actually run that until September 6th. Just so you all know, you have a little more time to get your Maudlin Haze and get up to the Maestro and get all the good goodies there. Today, we're going to talk about the next update, which is the Brimstone Sands update that is coming in October. We're pretty excited about this. It is a massive update. We're also going to do...
So this is the new zone, Brimstone Sands, I think you said it was?
A little bit of a dive into territory management and progress we're making toward that and how we're thinking about it.
I gotta say, I love the visual of the game. Like, I wish they would have put more effort into the actual gameplay and polish as they did into the actual... Like, the game looks beautiful. You can't deny that. It looks amazing. What game is this? It's New World. So they've got a developer update that we're watching.
To talk about the PTR rollout plan for the Brimstone update. and then we're going to sign off. So without further ado,
Like, it's a beautiful game. You can't deny that.
I'm going to start us with a dive into the upcoming update. All right, we want to talk a little bit about the Brimstone update. We're not going to go too deep because in September we have some time reserved where we're going to really dive into that. But at a high level, Mike, do you want to give an overview of Brimstone, which is the anchor for the release?
Sure thing, Scott. So some background on it and the lore. An old Egyptian kingdom basically arose thousands of years ago in this area of Eternum, known as Brimstone Sands, and they had this symbiotic relationship with the ancients. And along the way, there was a big falling out and a war.
So for those of you that are unfamiliar with the lore or lack thereof of lore in New World, the world that they've developed was supposed to be like the people that were in the rest of the world, like whatever. This land was like a rumor, basically, and nobody really knew anything about it, type of thing. So what they were trying to do is make it so that once you got there, you didn't know anything about this land, and you kind of opened up lore as you were out doing quests. The problem is a lot of people, they don't read that crap. They just go and click on it, and then they move on to the next thing. And then people are complaining that there's no lore. I actually thought it was kind of a cool idea that, there's a mysterious rumored land that nobody really knows anything about. You get shipwrecked on. I mean, imagine if you were in that situation, you got shipwrecked on this island and you didn't know anything about it. The only way for you to learn about the lore is to actually go around and explore it, right? So I kind of like the idea, but I don't think it went over too well with the player base.
War that occurred. No details to share yet. You're going to have to wait till the next update. But what happened is almost 1,000 years later, the Roman legion arrived. And then they had some encounters with corruption. And that led to kind of the modern state where things are in disarray. And one of your old allies.
See, here's the problem. Like, you can already see, game looks so. It was amazing. It's RWM or RW Myers. The game's actually out. It's been out for a year. No, this is New World. I was thinking about watching the Ashes of Creation update. There's another one. We're gonna watch that too. But the New World, they've got a new update. Like, it looks like the Roman Legion. It's just more zombies. Like, this was the problem with New World that they had before, is that all the encounters, you were going to a farm, you were opening up a lockbox or some box to get something, or you were fighting zombies on the farm, and then you're going to the next area that would tell you to go to this farm to open up lockboxes and fight more zombies. And it looks like these Roman Legion guys are just more zombie type characters or whatever they are.
Here on Eternum. And so part of that story has to play out in this brand new, almost 3 zones worth of content, which is Brimstone Sands.
It is a big place.
It is a massive place.
You know what? I'm going to ask this right now. Why did they spend all this time on a new zone, which I don't believe there's a new level cap? So you're basically going to a new zone. I'm assuming you're getting new gear. Why did they not instead develop raiding? Like, raiding is so massively popular in MMOs. Why is there nothing like this? We're a year into this game and there's no raiding. The only type of raid, like PvE, that you've got are 5-man dungeons.
Place.
A year later.
Sulfur pools and new ancient artifacts and structures and brand new POIs and dozens of new enemies.
There's another video. God, I wish I could remember who did it. It was fascinating. But the guy actually went person by person. I think it was maybe the Ant-Man, or no, it wasn't him. Oh man, I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, he literally went over the list of the people that were on the development team for New World, and like virtually none of them had any experience at their position that they had before. Like, the game lead basically had no experience as a game lead whatsoever. This is Amazon that's paying their wages, for Christ's sakes.
It is an awesome place.
We want to leave some surprises.
It's like they're completely out.
I'm not going to dive into too many details,
touch of what people
there's some
want.
creatures there that are just like very good, very good.
Yeah, and it's just fun to have this massive, diverse zone to run around that looks nothing like anything in the game right now.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. Look at this. It's more zombies. It's just more I mean, they look great, but it's the same shit. It's the same shit. People are complaining that there's not enough content. All you're doing is building a new zone and filling it with the same fucking
Have this
content.
massive, diverse zone to run around that looks nothing like anything in the game right now.
It doesn't look like anything else in the game, no, but it's the exact same stuff that you're doing.
We're really excited.
Fighting
to
more
share that with
zombies.
everybody. And I guess if you're going to be hanging out in this new zone with really tough enemies, you're going to need something to help you live there, right? A new weapon.
A new
yes.
weapon. What's that one that players have been asking about?
This is so scripted.
Sweat gourd.
I didn't like
Oh
that
no,
at
I'm sorry.
all.
Great sword.
There it is.
Totally messed that up. No, I know it's been long requested, and I've talked to the Daves about.
They should spend as much time creating a raid as they do writing their jokes. But hopefully the raids are better.
Start validating that with players. We're going to
Oops.
take those
Trees. One is really offensive.
What's that one that players have been asking about?
Hold on.
Sweat gourd.
I didn't like
Oh
that
no,
at
I'm sorry.
all.
Great sword.
There it is.
Totally messed that up. No, I know it's been long requested, and I've talked to the Daves about this at length, so some more teasers about it. It does scale evenly off of strength and dex, two-handed weapon, and allows you to stance between basically the two trees. One is really offensive oriented, and it's called, I think it's Onslaught, and basically you're sacrificing health basically for damage. So you're gonna
Fighting more
receive more
zombies.
damage so you can give more damage.
Like the combat doesn't look too bad, but I think these guys are just completely out of touch with what the MMO genre wants to see in their game. They brought out a new weapon. People want content.
And there's an awesome give and play with that. And you're also going to sacrifice more stamina in order to do heavier attacks much faster. So it's a really cool tree. And then when you use abilities from the Defiant stance, which is more defense oriented, also can be used by tanks because it has things that will draw aggro. A lot of counter hit play. You're going to do less damage, but you're going to take less damage. And so there's a lot of things where you can block incoming attacks, and the amount of attacks that you block during a set amount of time will unleash even more damage on the release. So
I
it's
love
really
to
cool
hear that we are thinking about tanks when we talk about these trees.
Yeah, it's a really unique weapon. I'd love to see tank play, and just how it gets incorporated into other people's builds. But
Well, yeah, that's the key, I think, is you can pair it because it's dex and strength with so many of our weapons. It's gonna players are gonna find things we never thought of as far as ways to use this. Again, it's a really exciting release coming up. There's a lot.
There's probably more, but I'm going to save that for the next update because I'm sure the Daves really want to dive in.
We really got the important stuff out of the way, which is when that's going to be headed their way, and is the great sword included?
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, and is there any other playable content included, like maybe an expedition that you want to
raid.
talk about, Mike?
There is an expedition. So one of our latest expeditions, it goes along the story of the ancients in that relationship with
I don't even think
the
he
Romans
knows.
in that Roman legion, and so it takes place in our giant pyramid known as the Ennead. Players are going to obviously group up, and they're going to head for the Ennead expedition, and it's going to be unlike anything that you've played so
If this is another 5-man,
far. Really cool visuals, brand new enemies, new mechanics. So we have like these sentry guards that actually roam some of the halls. So
brand new enemies, they're more zombies. What are you talking about? They're just different zombies.
I'm really excited about it. All new loot. Can't wait for players to get in the PTR and check it out.
We'll have a lot to show on this over as we get closer to the release.
All new zombies, guys.
And there's one more. Well, there's a bunch of more stuff, but there's one more we're going to talk about right now that we've kind of held as a secret until now. And
Body type 2
we've heard
zombies,
a lot
yes.
of feedback from players on our starting experience, how they wanted more variation in AI, more variation in the zones, everything to feel different, especially
more variation. Every farm you went to is the exact same
more
thing.
variation in questing. So we've revamped the first 25 levels of the experience.
Okay.
And we cannot wait to share it with everyone and get people in to see it. Again, we're going to do a much deeper dive on this next month. But our goal is to get it out there. We think we've addressed enough to make everyone think, wow, this is awesome. Once we start validating that with players, we're going to take those learnings and apply them all the way through the entire questing experience and leveling experience. And Another thing, like this release is really big. There's a lot here. There's a lot of stuff we haven't even talked about yet, and we can't.
You know what? I'll give them props if that's actually what they're doing, and they're going to revamp like basically all the zones and all the questing and stuff like that. That's something that should have been in a release. Let's be honest, but that's a sort of step in the right direction
to get into. But it's exciting, which is why we're devoting a couple of dev updates to it. So with that, let's switch bases and talk about territory management just a little bit. Dan, do you want to talk about like some of the big issues you've been hearing from players?
For sure, yeah. Since we've been live, it's been really cool to see how how these systems scale. Like, I mean, we've obviously done a lot of scale testing over the years, but nothing compared to what we've seen since we've launched. There's a lot that we want to do with it. I mean, we've heard feedback loud and clear from all different kinds of players. We're kind of taking a
they seem authentic, but they're missing a Warcraft expert. I think honestly, they really do like want to do well. I think they're just. I think essentially the development team is in way over their heads with the game, and I think that's what the other video I mentioned pointed out. Was that none of these people in their development team, like virtually none of them, had any real experience at the position they were currently holding with Amazon. Like they'd never really done anything. The lead game design or whatever, like I'm just giving an example, had never had any previous experience for that sort of role before. So I think as a whole, the entire development team is in way over the head. And added to that, I think they probably have people at Amazon going, get it out, get it out, get it out. They probably knew it wasn't ready, but that's what happens when you're a development company and your parent company is like, we got to start seeing some returns here.
Like short-term and long-term approach. In the short term, I think we mainly want to address 3 key issues.
And now, because they're like the game was so screwed up, they're kind of like behind the 8 ball. Like they're now trying to put out fires that are everywhere in the game, like not literally in the game. But they're trying to actually like put out all these fires or problems that are in the game, and the game's already launched, and you've lost like 95% of your player base already. Like, you can look at other games. Age of Conan is another one that was supposed to be the first WoW killer. I played it. I could not wait to play Age of Conan, and it turned out and it was just a bomb. The exact same thing as this. It was not ready, and the game's lead company was like pushing it to get out. They're like, this has got to get out. Now, if you talk to anyone that plays Age of Conan, they'll tell you that it's a great game now. The game's been out for like 15 years or something stupid, or whatever. Like, it's too little too late, but we even tried it. I was playing it on stream and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty solid game. It's a little bit of fun, but the problem is you've got kind of that first opportunity to make a really good first impression. And when you blow it, it's hard to, convince people to come back and try it.
Meaning the economic balancing issues that we've been hearing about, the shell companies, I think we're all friends here. Like, we all know they're called shell companies.
Wait, New World will be amazing in a year from now, I think. But what gives you? I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. What makes you believe that New World in a year will be better? Like, what have they done over the course of the last year that makes you think that in 1 year this is going to be a great game? Because so far, for me, I haven't seen them do anything, I'll be honest. It should have been amazing a year ago, yes. Or they should have realized that it wasn't amazing a year ago and held it back. Like, sure, a lot of people would have been pissed off, but you know what? If they held it back a year or 2 years and then released it, you'd have more people playing it. It was a huge letdown. Like, but what I don't understand what you believe that they're doing is going to make this game so good in a year, because so far all I've seen them do is open up a new zone with more zombies and give it a new weapon, but there's still not really more content. I guess the zone is content, but you're not really. I don't know. I think I just think that they're not understanding what the general MMO community wants.
So when you create like multiple companies in order to kind of bypass certain things, we're going to address that.
They have a great foundation built into the gameplay loop. They just need to develop endgame. But they've been needing to develop the endgame for like 3 years now. More weapons, more variation in zones and enemies. Do you think more weapons is the problem? Like, I actually think that they need more I think they need more end game stuff, and not just like more areas and more zombies. They need like mass scale like events to do, and I'm talking like raiding, like 25-man, 40-man raids. You know, none of this 5-man instant stuff anymore. They need like something big for guilds to do together. Because right now you log into game. I mean, I haven't played New World since November, December or something. Whenever everybody just bailed, and every video that I see, it's just people doing more 5-mans. I haven't seen any actual raiding content. They just developed a whole new zone. Why not develop a massive raid? Could you imagine if they developed a massive raid that had that was as beautiful as this new zone and then showed that off? What would impress you more? A new zone that looks like ancient Egypt with Romans in it, zombie Romans, or an actual raid where you had to like go into some just spectacular dungeon or something like that, and there was like, imagine like graphics like they've got a New World with monsters like stuff that you'd see in other games, but with updated graphics and really amazing encounters and stuff like that. Like, what would impress you more? I don't care about this new zone.
And then the third thing that we're going to address is, help me out here. We just talked about it.
The crafters being left out.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Almost left him out of
See,
the
I have cheat. I have a note.
There's a lot to the territory mechanics, in all seriousness. So like, there's a lot of things we want to fix, like I said. So those big three, we're gonna take action on within the next couple of releases. Our goals for them are basically for the economy. We're gonna do some things to kind of spread the money around. So like right now, Everfall and Windsward, I think everybody knows, like those are the territories to own, right? And the other ones are less important. So we wanted to address that, and then we also wanted to address kind of like the runaway win condition of, once you have those two territories, like you quickly just generate enough wealth to just be unstoppable. We want to fix that. We want to make it so that you can be competitive by owning like Greek water or something like that. So that's coming soon. That's coming the soonest.
Hey, thanks,
the
Atomic.
next thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to address shell companies in a few ways. We've been talking to players a lot, reading their feedback and actually going back and forth. We're not going to do like a standard just company switching cooldown, but we're going to do something very similar to that, which hopefully won't if you join a company and you decide it's not for you, you'll still be able to leave. But what it will do is you'll have a cooldown on when you can join a war, and then we're going to combine that with a minimum requirement on defense. So where if you're defending your territory in a war, you're going to have 35 players. Well, I shouldn't have said the number because we don't know for sure the number. It's going to be at least 35, maybe as many as 50. But the idea being that like if you're defending a territory, you have to have mostly your company defending it, combined with that switching cooldown is going to hopefully address the number one reason why people form their shell companies, which is to be able to like fight multiple wars in the same day.
So these changes, like what's our goal with them? Like, is it to be more fair? Is it so everybody's got a shot at taking part in this? I think that, different players have different motives for wanting to join in on it, but most of them want to win. And
RW Myers, we looked at that Lazy Peon video last week or something like that. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to take a look at it. But it can't be random with the need to be coordinated in group. Fundamentally, good games that are a mess on launch can survive. E.g., New World was just a fundamentally good game, and the flaws killed it. True.
And they want to feel like they're winning. So just like, what's our motivation for these particular changes?
Yeah, like we want to make it so that if you're a competitive company, you can still aspire to like a little empire that you're building.
Yeah.
But we don't want it to be possible for you to like the reason shell companies are bad is because it's obviously just a way to work around the limitation that the original system had built in, where like because your company has the same siege time every day for all the territories, that meant you can't fight in more than one war at the same time. So that was meant to be kind of a limiting device on the number of territories you can own. But obviously, you can just defeat that by using shell companies. So we want to close that.
I think we want, at a high level, I think how we're thinking about it is we want to make it a fair environment, but still rewarding. However, not so rewarding that if you're not in this, you feel like you could never catch up and never get there, right?
Yeah.
It's owning territory is really cool and it should have some awesome rewards and be powerful, but not so much that you can just destroy everybody else, right?
Absolutely.
All this in a fair way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then with the
That makes a lot
crafting,
of
I would add that on the crafting side, I think crafters who don't participate in the war and any of that stuff sometimes can get left out in the dark where, hey, I can't get access to a tier 5 station or this or that. So we want to make sure that they have opportunities to not be blocked by gameplay that they don't really participate in.
Yeah.
Other thing I just want to really quickly touch on, these changes are like, touch so many systems that we're taking our time with them because the last thing we want to do is like step in, change something and make something worse or break something we didn't think about. There's a lot of moving pieces here and we have to treat them with delicate hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else we want to talk about on territory management?
No, I think we're moving in a good direction. As you said, Scott, it's going to be slow to get there because we want to be very methodical and meticulous with those changes. But I think that this is something that players have been asking for, and we're going to deliver. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to keep investing in the systems long term, and it's been awesome to see everybody having fun with them so far.
Awesome. Shifting back to the Brimstone release, Katie, let's talk about the PTR rollout plan.
Sure. So for those not savvy to what PTR is, that's the public test realm. I know you were wondering, Willette. So I'm glad I explained it. So similar to what we saw with the Summer Medley Fair content, Barnacles and Black Powder, Group Finder, those all hit the PTR at different times. So that we could focus our scale testing on each of those. We're going to continue that when it comes to the Brimstone Sands release. So we're not releasing all of the things that we just talked about at the same time.
So this is actually like an expansion that they're... Are they charging for this expansion? I hope not. Can you imagine? The 5,000 players that are left are going to charge them like 40 bucks for an expansion or something? Would you guys actually want to see me play New World again? Be honest. I actually enjoyed leveling up, but one of the reasons why I stopped playing is a lot of my viewers were just tired of watching it. Like, would you actually want to watch me play New World again? Marty McFly, long time no see. None of you guys have any interest. Now let me ask you this. If they fixed all the bugs and came out with a new raid and stuff like that, that looked absolutely amazing, would you be interested then? Like, would you be interested in then? Maybe. You would. So again, they're not coming out with content that people actually want to see. 100% no. Marty McFly is definitely a no.
The first thing that players will see, or that we're anticipating players will see on the PTR, is that starting experience that you were talking about, Scott. So that's the first thing that they're going to see. They'll see the Greatsword.
I'm not going to lie. This is actually really good. This whole revamp of the zones and overhauling the questing to make sure that, you know, there was variety and stuff. This needed to be in at launch. Like, this was a major problem. The fact that they're actually doing this now, this is actually really, really kind of impressive. You think Tyrants would do well in New World? I mean, I was wanting to play New World with Tyrants, but they got rid of PvP. I like I said, I like the game, but you know, it's hard to be a guild leader of a multi-game guild. It's really not easy.
Time too. So those are the two main things that we're putting out there, along with the thousands of other changes that we put in this game that you can only find in the patch notes because we cannot recall them because we're not automatons. But then after players have had a time.
What the hell is an automaton? I don't even know.
To help us scale test that.
What is an automaton? What does that even mean?
Introduce Brimstone Sands. So those will all be available on the PTR before we do the release in October.
And we're introducing so much change and so much new stuff that we really need the community to get in there and help us test this. We're even adding a little more time than normal to have the PTR running because we just want to make sure we find everything and have time to address it. Like, we're so excited about this release. We could really use as much help as possible testing.
Does it sound like he's excited about the release, or is the sound in his voice more of a please come play this game again? I'm about to lose my job. Please, please give us a chance again. That's what it sounds like.
Not only bug free, but fun, that we're hitting the right note.
Bug free?
Which I think is super important.
I think that's probably.
You know what? There's a YouTuber that I actually watch. He followed my channel a while ago. I'm trying to remember the name of his channel, but he still puts out New World content. I might send him a message and ask him if if the game is still buggy as hell.
Probably more important than the other bugs, which of course, like, we want to get their bug reports. But I think the thing, when at least this first hits PTR, what we really want is, number one, the scale that we can't create on our own, which is individual players playing individually, not acting like bots, but going in and roughing up the build as they would normally, and then letting us know if it's fun. Is this something that, like, you were excited to see this new content? Is this something that you have suggestions for us? Our community managers always put in those in the forums. They put in like mega threads for feedback.
No, you know what TSIX? You know what they need? They need to contact gamers. I'm talking people that have been around the industry. I'm not talking about I'm talking Blizzard, for example. They flew in a bunch of people to talk about what the problem was with their game. Now, maybe they didn't follow their advice, but imagine if they went to a bunch of well-respected gamers. I'm talking about like Preach or whomever, and flew them in and said, listen, what is it about our game that you don't like? What is it that you would like to see added to the game that you think people would really like? Because I think they just honestly don't have a clue. I honestly think that they have no idea with what to add to the game, or they're just completely in denial. Like if you had people like Preach, Asmongold, rattle off 10 people that say just suddenly showed up to their office and says, listen, the problem is your game doesn't have any quality content. It's the same crap over and over again. And you guys, all you guys are doing is developing more zones with the same crap. We need you to develop this. Do you think that they would look at that group of people and say, you guys are crazy, we know what we're doing type of thing? Or I feel like they just, I don't know. Like, they just haven't listened to what people have been complaining about. It's not just, they've actually revamped started to revamp the zones of the quest. That tells me that they're at least listening to something. So
that's where you should put your sentiment. Put all the bug reporting, in-game feedback that goes into these models that parse it for us and put it in the right buckets for people. But if you want to give us feedback on, was this fun or not? Where do you think we could improve? What are we doing really well that you want us to double down on? It's the forums. That's the best place to let us know.
Yeah, and especially with the starting experience, because we've redone the quests, we've redone a lot of the story and lore. All of the architecture you're going to see is been changed. The AI is different. So are we hitting the mark? Is it getting where you want it? And if so, please tell us that. But even more importantly is where we're missing, like Katie said. That's what we can action on the most. Yeah. So that would be helpful.
Yeah, so join us in the PTR, everybody.
This was a fun, different kind of approach to the dev update, so I really appreciate y'all coming and helping with it. Can't wait till October with the Brimstone release, and we'll see you all in September with another dev update.
my lord. Anyways, as far as I guess my opinion, the only thing that I liked about this video, I'll be honest, of this developer update is the fact that they're actually redoing some of the zones so that they don't all look basically the same, with the same bloody farm in different areas with the same bloody zombies. So hopefully this just isn't enough. Like, I can't believe that they are doubling down on just developing a new zone and coming up with the same bloody mobs. It's just absolutely absurd. Server's up, thanks. Just in time, we've finished this video. Anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, I do follow New World, Ashes of Creation. Of course, I'm currently playing World of Warcraft as well. I do commentary on a lot of these videos and stuff. I'm looking forward to... I would love to try New World again, to be honest, but I'm not going to try it if they're just going to keep coming up with the same crap. I'd love to be excited about New World. I think Ashes of Creation looks like it's going to be amazing. I hope. But you know, it's probably a couple years until that's out anyway. So, anyways, if you are watching on stream or on YouTube, the links to this video are going to be down below as per usual. It's going to be... Not sure why I'm not subscribed to Play New World, because I do watch their videos when they come out. Anyways, definitely go and check out the game. But I do stream 6 nights a week from Tuesday to Sunday at 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern? No, at 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry. Don't even know my own schedule. Anyways, if you want to chat about any video games, any MMOs, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, whatever, we do that on my channel nightly. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.